Kai ran across the cracked, dusty plains of Xyron 7, his small boots kicking up clouds of gray ash with every step. The sky above was a dull orange, filled with streaks of black smoke from distant fires, and the wind carried the faint hum of old machines buried in the sand. Most people avoided this part of the planet. It was dangerous. Old ruins lay scattered across the wasteland, and rumors said deadly creatures roamed the rocks at night. But Kai had always been curious, and curiosity had a way of finding trouble. He had heard stories from traders and travelers, tales of a creature so large and fierce that entire patrols of alien soldiers had vanished trying to hunt it. They called it a dragon, though none had seen it clearly. Most of the stories said it could breathe fire that could melt metal and claws that could tear a ship in half. But Kai didn't care about the stories. He wanted to see it for himself. Kai climbed over a pile of jagged rocks and stopped short. Ahead, in a small canyon, he saw something moving. At first, it was just a ripple of silver in the sand, like a mirage. Then, as he stepped closer, he realized it was alive. A massive creature lay on the ground, chained by heavy metal restraints. Its scales glimmered with strange colors, blue, green, and gold all mixed together. Even from a distance, Kai could see that it had already been hurt. Its left wing was bent at an odd angle, and one of its sharp claws had deep scratches across it. The dragon's eyes opened slowly, glowing like molten gold. Kai froze. The creature was enormous. Its head alone was bigger than his entire body. Its breath came in long, shaky huffs, leaving trails of steam in the dry air. And yet, it did not roar. It did not strike. It looked tired. Sad. Kai took a small step forward, then another. He knew he should run. Everyone else would run. But something in the dragon's eyes told him it needed help. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a water bottle. Holding it out carefully, he said, "Here, you must be thirsty." The dragon's eyes narrowed, suspicious. It hissed softly, a sound that made the rocks vibrate. But it did not move away. Kai crept closer and gently poured a little water near its head. The dragon sniffed the puddle and then, slowly, lapped it up with a long, pink tongue. Kai smiled, his heart pounding. He noticed the chains were old, rusty, and sharp against the dragon's scales. They had cut its skin in several places. Kai knew he could not free it completely, not by himself. But he could do something small. He found a rock and began nudging one of the weaker chain links, trying not to make too much noise. The dragon watched, its eyes calm now, but still cautious. Time passed slowly. The sun sank lower, turning the sky a deep red. Kai had managed to loosen the chain just enough for the dragon to shift slightly without hurting itself. It tilted its head and looked at him, as if asking a question he didn't understand. Kai shrugged. "I don't know how to fix this fully, but I can try to help," he said quietly. For a moment, the wasteland seemed to hold its breath. The wind stopped whistling through the rocks, and even the distant hum of buried machines faded. Kai extended a hand slowly, palm open, towards the dragon's massive snout. It leaned forward cautiously, then pressed its warm, rough nose against his hand. Kai could feel the creature's strength, even in that small movement. His heart raced. He had never been this close to anything so dangerous, and yet he felt no fear, only wonder. The dragon seemed to understand that he meant no harm. It tilted its head again and let Kai run his fingers along a rough ridge on its snout. Suddenly, a shadow passed over the canyon. Kai looked up. A scout drone, shiny and black, hovered above, its lights scanning. Someone, or something, was watching. The dragon stirred, growled low in its throat, but Kai held his ground. "It's okay," he whispered. "I won't let them hurt you." The drone's sensors blinked, then it sped away. Kai exhaled a shaky breath. He realized then that this moment was dangerous. Helping the dragon could get him into trouble, maybe even worse than the warnings he had heard. But he could not leave it here, chained and suffering, no matter what the risk. Night fell, and the temperature dropped quickly. Kai didn't have a shelter, and the dragon was too weak to move far. He decided to stay near it, keeping watch while it rested. As he sat on a flat rock, he noticed something incredible. The dragon's scales seemed to glow faintly in the moonlight, like tiny stars scattered across its massive body. Kai whispered, almost to himself, "I'll help you. Somehow. I promise." The dragon blinked slowly, almost as if it understood. For the first time, Kai felt that maybe, just maybe, this fearsome creature was not the monster the galaxy had made it out to be. And somewhere far above, silent and cold, a signal was being sent, a record of a human boy standing beside a dragon no one else dared approach. Kai did not know it yet, but this was the beginning of something the galaxy had never seen before. Kai woke just before dawn, the cold of the night still clinging to the rocks and sand around him. The dragon was awake, its massive body shifting slowly, each movement careful, testing its broken wing. Kai approached with a small pouch of food he had gathered from nearby ruins, dried fruit, bits of protein from preserved rations, and some water. He set it down a few meters away, letting the dragon decide if it wanted to eat. At first, the dragon only watched him. Its golden eyes were bright, intelligent, and wary. Kai knelt a few feet away and whispered, "It's okay. I won't hurt you." Slowly, almost reluctantly, the dragon lowered its head and nibbled at the food. Kai's heart lifted. He smiled, even though he knew this was only the beginning. The dragon had been feared for centuries, and people called it the Starfire Dragon because of the strange glow in its scales. Legend said it had destroyed entire colonies when angered. But Kai noticed something different. The dragon's anger was gone, it was simply scared, hurt, and lonely. Kai didn't see a monster. He saw something alive and suffering. Over the next few days, Kai returned to the canyon, bringing more food and small repairs for the dragon's chains. He used scraps of metal and wire he found in the ruins to make the bindings less painful. The dragon let him work, standing still as Kai worked on its limbs. Sometimes it would shift and groan, and Kai would pause, whispering, I know. I'm being gentle." Kai learned to watch the dragon closely. Its eyes, tail, and the flick of its wings all spoke something. He realized it understood him more than he expected. One day, after he repaired a particularly jagged chain link, the dragon leaned its head toward him. Without thinking, Kai reached up and placed his hand on the dragon's glowing scales. They were rough, hard, and warmer than he expected. The dragon did not pull away. The next morning, a low rumble shook the canyon. Kai looked up to see a patrol of alien scouts descending from the cliffs above. They were armed with energy weapons and scanners, shouting in their strange language. The dragon stiffened, its eyes narrowing, smoke curling from its nostrils. Kai stayed calm. "It's okay," he said, keeping his voice soft. "I'm here." The patrol was cautious. They had orders to capture or kill the dragon. They did not expect a small human to stand fearlessly beside it. Kai lifted his hands, showing he meant no harm, and slowly stepped closer to the dragon. Then he did something no one had dared, he touched its snout. The dragon froze. The patrol hesitated. Kai whispered, "It's okay. I'll help." Slowly, the dragon lowered its massive head toward him, letting him rest a hand on its scales. The patrol scanned quickly, then muttered among themselves. None of them expected the dragon to allow this. Its roar, which could have destroyed the scouts' small ships, was silent. For hours, Kai stayed with the dragon while the patrol left, reporting nothing conclusive. He realized how dangerous this was. Anyone could see a human bonding with a creature of that size and power and decide he was a threat. But Kai did not care. He only wanted the dragon to feel safe. By the end of the week, the dragon began to move more freely. It tested its wings gently, flapping slowly, and even tried to nudge Kai as if asking him to climb. Kai felt a mixture of fear and excitement. He knew riding a dragon was dangerous, but he also felt an unshakable connection forming. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the canyon, Kai sat near the dragon's massive head. The wind blew through its scales, making them shimmer like molten silver. "You're not a monster," he said softly. "You're just hurt." The dragon blinked slowly, almost in response, leaning into his hand. Kai shivered at the closeness of such a powerful creature, yet he felt safe. A week later, a storm rolled in, dark clouds swallowing the horizon. The wind howled through the canyon, whipping sand and rocks. The dragon became nervous, pacing and flapping its broken wing. Kai ran alongside, trying to calm it. "It's okay," he shouted over the wind. "I'm here." Suddenly, lightning struck a nearby rock, sending a shower of sparks and a loud crack echoing through the canyon. The dragon panicked, rearing up, wings beating wildly. Kai knew he had to do something. He ran toward it, climbing onto a lower ridge of its wing. "I'm not leaving you," he yelled. The dragon froze, surprised by the small human on its back. Kai leaned close, pressing his forehead gently against the dragon's glowing scales. "I trust you," he whispered. Then, in a bold move born of instinct, he kissed the ridge just above its eyes, a human gesture of care and courage. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the dragon's wings slowed. It lowered its head and pressed closer to Kai, kneeling slightly. The storm raged around them, but in that small canyon, time seemed to stop. A bond had formed, stronger than fear, stronger than legends. From above, silent observers in far-off satellites recorded everything. A human had touched, spoken to, and shown kindness to the galaxy's most feared creature. The report would spread quickly, but Kai didn't know or care. He only knew that the dragon trusted him. As the storm passed, Kai sat beside the dragon, watching the first light of dawn. He knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had never seen anything like this, a human, small and fragile, taming what everyone else called a monster. Kai whispered, almost to himself, "We'll face the stars together. I promise." And the dragon nudged him gently, as if agreeing. Kai and the dragon had become inseparable. Days had passed since the storm, and the young human boy had learned to read the dragon's movements, its subtle gestures, and the quiet language of its golden eyes. He no longer saw a creature to fear but a being full of intelligence, pain, and pride. The dragon, which he had started calling Starfire, seemed to understand him better than any human had ever understood another. On the morning that changed everything, Kai and Starfire were exploring the canyon, searching for water and safe shelter. The desert winds had cleared, revealing a distant fleet of alien ships approaching from the horizon. Kai's stomach sank. He knew these were no ordinary travelers. Word of the dragon had already spread across the galaxy through scouts, and many saw Starfire as a weapon, something to control, capture, or destroy. Kai crouched behind a jagged rock as the ships descended. The alien pilots inside their cockpits were enormous beings with metallic limbs and glowing eyes. Their weapons glinted in the sunlight, scanning the canyon. Kai felt a surge of fear but pushed it down. He had faced dangers before, but this was different. Starfire was with him now, and together, they had a chance. The aliens landed cautiously, stepping out of their ships. Their leader, a towering figure of crystal and flame named Vorik, raised a hand. His voice boomed across the canyon, translated by a hovering device. "Human boy," Vorik said, "you have interfered with the property of the galaxy. The creature you call Starfire is a sovereign weapon. Surrender it immediately, or face destruction." Kai swallowed hard. He looked up at Starfire, who tilted its massive head, watching him intently. Kai could feel the dragon's heartbeat through the hard ridges of its neck. He reached up and placed a hand on Starfire's jaw, whispering, "We can't let them take you. Not ever." Vorik stepped forward, his voice booming. "Do you understand your punishment? The galaxy does not forgive interference with sovereign assets. You will die if you resist." Kai stood, small and trembling, but firm. "I'm not giving him to you," he said simply. His voice carried more courage than he thought he had. Starfire lowered its head slightly, leaning into Kai's hand, as if pledging to protect him. The first shot came suddenly, a beam of blue energy slashing across the canyon floor. Rocks exploded, sand flew into the air, and the wind carried the heat of the blast. Starfire roared, a sound that shook the cliffs and echoed like thunder across the wasteland. Its golden eyes flared, and the glow along its scales intensified. Kai held on tightly, shouting over the roar, "I trust you. You know what to do." The dragon leaped into action. Its massive wings lifted it from the ground, carrying Kai with it. The first alien ship tried to shoot again, but Starfire's wing blocked the beam, and the dragon twisted mid-air, knocking the ship into the canyon wall. Sparks flew as the ship skidded across the sand. The remaining aliens hesitated, unsure how to respond to a human controlling a creature of such unimaginable power. Starfire circled above, its claws ready, its tail whipping like a living battering ram. Kai shouted instructions, pointing to weak spots in the ships and the terrain. Somehow, Starfire understood. Every movement was precise, almost as if Kai's courage had become a signal, guiding the dragon with perfect accuracy. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. By the time the dust settled, the alien forces had retreated. Their ships were damaged, and their leader, Vorik, had barely escaped. The canyon was silent once more, except for Kai's heavy breathing and the soft thrum of Starfire's wings settling back to the ground. Kai slid down from the dragon's back and knelt beside its massive head. "We did it," he whispered. Starfire nudged him gently, a low rumble of acknowledgement. They had survived. Together, they had stood against a force the galaxy believed unstoppable, and won. News of the event spread quickly. Satellites, scout drones, and patrol logs recorded every detail of Kai's bravery. The galaxy was shocked. No one had ever seen a human control a creature so powerful. Many feared what this meant, while others were amazed that such a small, fragile species could change the balance of power through courage alone. Scientists analyzed the recordings, trying to understand the bond between human and dragon. Military strategists debated how to respond, realizing that brute force alone could no longer control the galaxy's most dangerous assets. And across distant worlds, ordinary humans whispered stories of the boy who had faced impossible odds and succeeded, igniting hope that they too could matter. Kai didn't care about the headlines or the records being sent to the council. He only cared about Starfire. "You were amazing," he said, placing a hand on the dragon's glowing scales. "I couldn't have done it without you." The dragon rumbled softly, almost like a laugh. Kai smiled. He knew the galaxy had noticed them. He knew that their lives would never be simple again. But for the first time, he also knew something else. Humans, no matter how small, could stand against anything, even the fears of the entire galaxy, if they acted with courage and heart. That night, as they watched the twin moons rise over the canyon, Kai realized that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had seen what he and Starfire could do together. And soon, every system would know. Never underestimate a human who dares to believe. Kai whispered, leaning against the dragon's neck, "We're just getting started, Starfire. The galaxy isn't ready for us yet." The dragon's golden eyes shone brighter in the moonlight, as if agreeing. And for the first time, Kai felt that nothing, not even the galaxy itself, could stop them. The galaxy reacted faster than anyone expected. News of Kai and Starfire's victory against Vorik's patrol fleet spread like fire through the interstellar channels. Traders, miners, and explorers whispered in crowded spaceports, amazed at the images, a small human boy perched on the back of a golden-scaled dragon, controlling it with courage and trust rather than weapons. Some doubted the reports, thinking it must be propaganda. Others were horrified. The Galactic Council, a body of 12 alien races who claimed to oversee order in the stars, convened immediately. In a massive floating chamber orbiting the capital world, holographic projections of Kai and Starfire dominated the central platform. Delegates hissed, growled, and clicked their mandibles in disbelief. "Explain this," boomed Therian, a crystalline alien whose body refracted light like a prism. His voice shook the chamber. "A human, a child, has bonded with a sovereign-class dragon? This is impossible." Kai had no idea the council existed, much less that it was now focused on him. He was sitting atop a small plateau on Xiron 7, keeping watch over Starfire as the dragon tested its wings. A soft hum reached him through his communicator, a call he barely recognized at first. Then the council's representative appeared in a shimmering hollow projection. Kai Harrow, the voice said, "You are in violation of multiple galactic statutes. You must surrender the dragon immediately." Kai's jaw tightened. "I'm not surrendering him," he said simply. "He's hurt. He's scared. I'm the only one who can help him." The council representative's eyes narrowed. The galaxy does not tolerate interference with sovereign assets. That dragon is considered property and a weapon. Your species is too small, too weak, too irrelevant to claim control. You will comply. Kai glanced at Starfire. The dragon's wings flexed, and its golden eyes locked onto him. He felt the deep, unspoken connection again, the same connection that had saved them from Vorak. He knew that Starfire trusted him completely, and he would not betray that trust. "I don't care what you call him," Kai said, raising his voice. "He's alive. He's not a weapon. And I won't let you hurt him." A hush fell over the council's hollow chamber. A human daring to speak to a sovereign dragon like this, it had never happened before. Even their scouts reported that Kai's voice carried something strange, a force beyond fear, calm, brave, unshakable. The council debated, their voices overlapping in harsh, alien tones. Some argued that they must destroy the dragon and the boy to prevent a precedent. Others suggested capturing them carefully, but no one had a plan for controlling a being that clearly did not obey threats or weapons. Meanwhile, on Xiron 7, scouts arrived in small ships, hovering above the canyon. Their intent was clear: take the dragon, take the boy, and prove that the council's authority still ruled the galaxy. Kai didn't flinch. He climbed onto Starfire's back, tightening his grip on the dragon's spiny neck. "Stay calm," he whispered. Starfire rumbled softly, wings extending with a fluid power that made the ground tremble. The scouts fired energy nets, trying to ensnare the dragon, but Starfire twisted in the air, avoiding each trap with astonishing agility. Kai pointed to a cliffside, guiding the dragon through narrow canyons and over jagged ridges. The human's intuition combined with the dragon's strength created a movement so precise that even the council's best strategists couldn't have anticipated it. One scout ship closed in too fast. Starfire lashed out with its tail, knocking it into a rock formation. Sparks and smoke rose, but Kai felt no fear. He had faith in Starfire, and Starfire had faith in him. The boy had learned that courage was not the absence of fear, it was acting despite it. Back at the council, the delegates watched in shock. "That child," murmured one alien, "he is directing the dragon like it's alive to his thoughts." "Yes," another replied. "And he is human." Their voices carried disbelief, awe, and fear all at once. The council realized that humans, a species they had dismissed as weak and insignificant, could challenge the galaxy's power in ways they never imagined. Kai and Starfire didn't stop to celebrate. They flew higher, beyond the canyon, until the patrols could no longer follow without risk. Once clear, Kai slid off Starfire's back and knelt beside it, pressing a hand against the warm scales. "They're going to keep coming," he said quietly. "But we'll show them we won't be scared." Starfire rumbled, nudging him gently, as if to say, "I'm with you, no matter what." Kai smiled. The galaxy had seen the bond between them, and that bond had changed everything. Humans were no longer just fragile beings, they could inspire loyalty, command respect, and face danger with a courage that even the strongest alien forces could not break. That night, as the twin moons of Xiron 7 rose over the canyon, Kai watched the stars. Somewhere far across the galaxy, news channels and scouts were broadcasting his courage. Analysts and leaders debated what a single human boy could accomplish. Ordinary humans on distant planets whispered in awe, realizing that perhaps they too could stand against odds they had always thought insurmountable. Kai touched Starfire's glowing scales, feeling the steady pulse beneath his fingers. "We'll face them together," he said softly. "They don't understand humans yet, but they will." Starfire's wings stretched once more, casting long shadows across the canyon floor. In that quiet moment, Kai realized something bigger than survival or victory. The galaxy had seen what humans could do, not through numbers or weapons, but through courage, heart, and the willingness to protect what is good. And the galaxy would never forget it. The tension in the galaxy had reached a boiling point. Every world seemed to know about Kai and Starfire, and whispers of their courage filled starports, research stations, and council halls. Humans had always been underestimated, fragile, short-lived, insignificant, but now one small boy had tamed a dragon feared across the stars. The Galactic Council could no longer ignore him. Kai and Starfire had retreated to a hidden canyon on Xiron 7, but it was no longer safe. Scout drones circled in the skies, reporting every movement. Vorik had returned with reinforcements, his anger barely contained after the first defeat. But Kai didn't panic. He had Starfire, and together, they had already survived the impossible. One morning, the ground shook under the weight of massive warships landing on the canyon floor. Energy shields flared, and armored soldiers poured out, weapons ready. Kai climbed onto Starfire's back and whispered, "Stay calm. Follow my lead." The dragon rumbled softly, its golden eyes locking onto his. Kai knew it trusted him completely, as he trusted it. Vorik approached with a display of raw power, his body shimmering with energy. "Human," he bellowed, "this is your final warning. Surrender the dragon, or face annihilation." Kai looked down at Starfire, then back at the towering alien. He spoke with a confidence that surprised even him. "You don't understand. He's not a weapon. He's alive, and I won't let you hurt him, or me." The soldiers fired, but Starfire moved with astonishing speed. His wings cut through the air, creating gusts strong enough to throw the attackers off balance. Kai guided him through tight canyon passes, ducking under rocks and over ridges. The humans and aliens alike had never seen such coordination between species. It was as if Kai's courage flowed into the dragon, making it stronger, sharper, unstoppable. As the battle raged, Kai realized he had more power than any weapon. His heart, his fear, his trust in Starfire, all of it combined into something the galaxy had never witnessed, a human leading a sovereign-class dragon, not with force, but with bravery. Every move Starfire made was precise, every dodge, every strike, exactly what Kai needed. Vorik, seeing his forces falter, tried to attack directly. Starfire's tail smashed into his armored suit, sending him skidding across the canyon floor. Kai leaned forward, pressing his hand against Starfire's neck. "Hold steady," he shouted. The dragon responded instantly, wings flaring, claws digging into the rock, sending shockwaves that knocked other soldiers off their feet. The council had been watching from orbit, stunned. For the first time, they realized that human ingenuity, combined with courage, could challenge even the galaxy's deadliest creatures. Delegates murmured in disbelief. A child, controlling a dragon, through trust alone. Kai felt no fear now, only resolve. Starfire rose high into the air, with Kai clinging firmly to his scaled back. They were a single force of will. The soldiers aimed their weapons again, but their blasts bounced harmlessly off Starfire's shimmering scales. Kai knew the moment had come to prove something bigger than survival. He had to show the galaxy the true strength of a human heart. He shouted, "Stop fighting. We don't want to destroy anyone." The voice carried far beyond the canyon, amplified by Starfire's resonance. Soldiers froze. Even Vorik hesitated. There was something in Kai's tone, a mix of bravery, compassion, and fearlessness, that made them pause. Starfire landed gracefully in the canyon, lowering its massive head beside Kai. The scene was broadcast across the galaxy. Ordinary humans watched in awe as a child faced a fleet and stood unbroken. Scientists and strategists scratched their heads, realizing brute strength alone could no longer dictate control. Starfire's loyalty to Kai was proof that respect, courage, and trust could wield more power than any weapon. Vorik, humiliated but alive, withdrew, dragging his soldiers back to their ships. The council could only watch as Kai and Starfire rose into the sky, leaving the canyon behind. The galaxy had witnessed something extraordinary. A human boy had tamed a dragon not by force, but by heart. Kai and Starfire flew together across the wastelands, the twin moons casting silver light on their path. Kai leaned forward, hand on the dragon's neck, feeling the rhythm of its heartbeat. "We've shown them, Starfire," he whispered. "Humans aren't weak. We can fight, survive, and protect what's important." The galaxy would never be the same. Tales of Kai's courage spread quickly. Humans who had felt powerless now felt hope. Other species, once dismissive, began to see humans in a new light. A single boy and a dragon had challenged centuries of assumptions, proving that bravery, compassion, and clever thinking could stand against even the most advanced forces. That night, Kai and Starfire rested on a high cliff, overlooking a world bathed in starlight. The boy gazed at the stars, realizing the adventure had only just begun. "The galaxy isn't ready for us," he said quietly. "But we are ready for it." Starfire rumbled softly, nudging Kai gently. The dragon's scales glimmered under the moons, a reminder of the bond that had changed the course of countless lives. Together, they would travel the stars, not as conquerors, but as proof of what humans could achieve: courage, heart, and the ability to tame even the fiercest forces. Kai smiled. "Let them watch, Starfire. Let them see what humans can do." And as they took flight into the endless night, the galaxy knew a truth it could no longer ignore: even the smallest human could change everything.